Hello everyone, it's Thursday here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. We're here for the weekly wrap up to kind of tell you things that have happened this week. Sorry, the sun's coming right into the window. So I might move a little bit so I'm not squinting at all of you. But summer continues to go fast. I hope you all had a great 4th of July. Here the staff was really busy, still doing a lot of work. We also luckily haven't gotten the heat that so many other places have, but we've had so much rain. It's just crazy. If we drill or do a fence hole, it just fills with water because we have so much groundwater. But the heat is supposed to start coming here today through Sunday, so it's going to be 93, and that's not too bad for, I know many of you that are in Minnesota, but when we add that our heat index is going to be over 100, it's going to be that heavy, wet, humid heat. So wanting all of our staff, volunteers, and cats to stay hydrated and cool for that. So hello everyone, hi Barbara, hi Maria, hi Lisa, hi Tracy, hi Kelly. So nice to have you all here for the weekly wrap up. So first thing is we have our online auction and that ends tomorrow. So if any of you haven't bid, I know many of you like to wait till the last minute so that nobody outbids you. So just don't miss that opportunity tomorrow. And then I do know that it's our last opportunity for you to get VIP tickets to get on site this year. It's the last opportunity. So thank you for those that have already bid, and I know many of you have used the buy now feature because we'd love to have you at the VIP event. It is the one event that I've had donors, and I'm going to call you out, our friends Dr. Lannon and Paula Landgren, who say, can we make this a 2 or 3 day event? And of course we'd love to, because we'd love to spend so much more time with you guys, but we do have a lot of work. But what part of the VIP event is Friday night, there's a social hour where everybody gets together at the hotel. Sally and Julie host that. Then you wake up at 8 a.m. and a bus drives you up to the sanctuary, and you'll get some treats for the bus. You get off at the sanctuary and lunch is served here. You get, I think, 3.5 hours of tour with the cats and meet the caretakers, see enrichment, look at the gift shop, see the hospital. And then we give you a treat after a catered lunch to go back on the bus, back to the hotel, and we all meet up for a complimentary social hour with appetizers and drinks, a silent auction, and then we all go to a seated fancy dinner, and we do presentations, and it's a great meal, all included. And then the next morning, there's complimentary breakfast at the hotel. So it is almost 3 days for this VIP event, and we spend a lot of time together, and it is just really wonderful to people all get along, we're all hanging out, we get to spend quality time with you guys. So if you haven't, definitely bid on the VIP event. It is just a really once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, not only to meet each other and like-minded people, but also to see the cats that you guys support so much. So into the updates. Well, we've had a lot. So it's so funny because as we hang out here, I am getting a little stressed by Catio Town being delayed, a little stressed that cats are in the temporaries that we built. And so many of them are doing amazingly and wonderful, and they don't know, and it's all our human emotion I'm putting on them. But Topper and Puma, who are solitary Bengals, are in the smallest of the temporary areas, and one's in a highly trafficked area and one's in a very quiet area. So I had Rio switch both of those to this week so that they can get different experience, different exposure, and just keep them stimulated. We did the same thing with Leo and Eddie, and they were able to move out of where they were because it was a smaller area, and we moved them into a temporary quarantine just so they can get new stimulation, see people more, everything else. So it's just one of those things we keep doing because I just can't wait for Catio Town. I can't wait to the moment I can walk, and all of us can walk into a building and see 50 Bengals at one time, walk into any given room and snuggle those that want to be snuggled, give enrichment to those that don't want us there but want something. And so, yeah, it's just, I'm anxious, excited, and nervous all at once to get this all done. There's so much on the list. And so we have another big update, and the sponsors have known. We are not a facility that adopts out cats very often, unless we get the stray domestic cats that come to the sanctuary. And so, as you guys know, Jameson and Hank are here. They got their final vaccines, and I can't share the news yet because it's not final, but I do have a staff member that showed interest in wanting to adopt both boys. So no pressure to our staff, but once that decision is finally made, we will share that news. But on another note, during these temporary moves while we're building Catio Town and I had to tear down the Bengal areas, Bengals and Savannahs got put in every corner of the sanctuary. And Sophia and Benji were living in the hospital with Dr. Campbell during this transition. And he fell in love with them, and he asked last week if he could adopt Benji and Sophia permanently and bring them to his home with his wife and other pets. And so he didn't think I would say yes. And it's always hard to say yes when everybody loves these cats so much, but we never lose sight that it is about the cats and what benefits the cats the most. And Benji and Sophie were here for different reasons. And so other people had inquired over the years of adoption, but I really needed to know that somebody really knew the medical needs of Sophia. She's had several kind of exploratory obstruction surgeries. Hello, Benny's here. She's went through 2 or 3 shelters. She's been rehomed a couple of times. And then Benji was on a rabies bite hold for several years, and so part of that contract was not to adopt him out to the public. And so this ended up being just perfect. Benny! He wants the door open. Wanted to be, you know, it's just perfect. So we all said a bittersweet goodbye, but Dr. C's already sent pictures. He said Benji was already sleeping on his chest all over him last night. So, you know, that's good news. That's always good news. So it's not something people ask us, can we adopt one of the Bengals? We're not here to screen homes because the Bengals that come to us have been through those adoption programs several times and we're their last hope. But this is a win-win-win. All right, I'm going to open the door and I'll be right back. All right, Benny, come on. I know, let's go. There you go. Good boy. Alrighty, so that was good. So as you guys saw, I think on the live post last week, Kiara got into it with a skunk and she was smelling to high haven. Luckily, Olivia and Judson bathed her. She's had some stink for a few days still, but she's getting better. We've had some vet days. A little Asian leopard cat, Mindy, their 3-legged girl, had her vet exam this week and everything looks good. She was definitely one of the plumpest, maybe second to the plumpest of the ALCs. And then Serval Sebastian, who's 20 years old. And usually we don't try to sedate our older guys unless there's a medical reason, and we always know there will end up being a medical reason late in life. But his claws were growing really long because with his spondylosis arthritis, he can't wear them down. So there was a big hook on his dew claw and he kept getting caught on the fence. So between that and he was very matted since, again, with arthritis, he can't groom himself, we decided to sedate him and check his kidney levels, do all that. His kidney levels are of a 20-year-old, but he's not in renal failure, but he has, because of that slow metabolism of the drug, been slow to get back to himself after anesthesia. And so Dr. Campbell and Dr. Elise and Rio have been looking at him really closely, and Jackie, and they gave him another reversal, and today he's starting to feel more like himself. And so again, it's one of those, we have to balance, do we need to do this? Should we do this? And really, because we were really concerned about those claws going back into the pad, which is excruciating painful and can cause abscesses. That's why we did that. But so far he's just waking. I mean, he's up and out, but his eyes are dilated. He's not wanting to come up for food, but he's drinking. So we think he'll be just fine for a 20-year-old. Let's see. We had 2 more moves, and because we haven't let sponsor parents know yet, because one just happened about an hour ago, I can't tell you who, but I will tell you next week, that one cat moved into the Bobcat yard that we just built behind Sushi, and Sushi and her neighbor have been doing just fine. Now, we think that's a temporary move, but we aren't sure yet. And then another cat moved this morning into a larger free roaming habitat and just getting used to that. So hopefully those moves go smoothly. One was, hey, I'm here, no new space, everything's fine, I'm okay. The other one's a little more timid. It's a big area, getting used to it, and so they're doing a lot of positive reinforcements and rewards. And then this weekend's going to be warm, so thank you to the crew days, the volunteers that are coming out and going to help. We will make sure you stay hydrated, get shade, and a lot of breaks. But they are starting the 3rd Bobcat yard. We even call Sushi's the Bobcat yard. The 3rd yard in Cattail Creek. And that's the final one we're doing this year, and then we're going to do 2 more next year. So we're excited that that's going to get started. And usually from beginning to end, it's 2 months. The fence goes up really quickly. It's all the detail work. It's doing the safety chains and doing the skirting where we dig down and do an apron, attaching the holding yard, attaching the chute that goes to the heated bungalow, bringing in electric to the heated bungalow, putting the indoor kennel inside the bungalow, bringing in all the furniture, the skywalks, the double door. That's the stuff that takes so long. So we're thinking about 2 months and somebody will be able to move in there. And then we still need volunteers. We have such wonderful, dedicated volunteers, but we seem to always have more work than there is volunteers. So if anybody's in Minnesota and wants to come volunteer, we need people joining the mowing team, and that's just once a month you have to commit to come up and mow, and you get to be near the cats as you push mow and riding lawnmower. Then we have our clean team, which is coming in and helping cleaning the public areas and the bathrooms and the kitchens of the office. Again, that's once a month. And then we have chores, which is helping doing the prep room dishes, feeding dishes, things like that. And then after 6 months on the chores team, 1 day a month commitment, you get chores and more, which is then you graduate to doing more, which is reading to the cats half the day, things like that. Tracy's asking, when did Dash get an in-ground pool again? He moved when we did all the Thor moves, the Daisy move and the Dash move and the Indy move and Nova move. That's when he got an in-ground pool. So he's moved back there. Daisy has the above-ground pool. They're both using it wonderfully. Thank you. I know somebody's asking if we can do remote volunteering. Appreciate that so much. Right now we don't have options right now for remote volunteering. We used to have more social media volunteers, but with our media interns, we wanted to give them the opportunity to do that. But thank you for thinking of the animals. Sushi's live was going to be today, but with those moves and Sushi and other things, that live with Sushi, hopefully doing some food foraging in our habitat, will be tomorrow. So definitely tune in for that. And really right now I'm looking at, okay, it's midsummer. I have a project list this long and having to determine what needs to be pushed off till next year if we really get into a bind. And so right now we're still estimating and trying to find the right contractor for our Cat's Meow Pavilion, which would go up by Catio Town. But it's amazing. The prices are coming in over $40,000 for a pavilion, and I will not spend donors' money like that. So we have the 3rd or 4th bid today, and trying to determine how we get that at least cut in half almost, to be able to do that pavilion for volunteers and caretakers and things like that. And so if that doesn't get like finalized in time to do it this year, then we'll be doing it in the spring, but it is part of committed funds already. And on top of that, we have to move what we called our mobile home, which we have Bengals in temporarily was going to get moved out and donated this year, and so we could get all our the trailer off the property, the mobile home. But it needs to be done before we can do the pavilion based on where things are going. But it has Bengals in it right now, and if Catio Town gets pushed back, we don't want to lose that temporary space for the Bengals. So it's a big, huge coordination. And then the existing bungalows, 2 of the bungalows where Dream lives and where Merlin's group live was going to get new bungalow upgrades, not yards, but new buildings. The buildings are here, they're doing the insulation and all that now, but we would have to tear down the existing bungalows and put this bungalow, and we're going to put it in a different place, bring electric, heater, all that to it. And so luckily their bungalows will last another winter. They have heat and things, so if we have to do that in the spring, we can. But this is part of the juggling act because we have that second Bobcat yard. We had hail damage on an intern house, so need possibly some roof fixes. We had 2 UTVs break down, so we're trying to do that. One might be the engine, so we might need a new UTV. We have the pole buildings leaking a little bit. We have the cooler that the seal isn't working. So there's so many projects that have now taken precedence. We had electric go down again, and as you guys know, our electric issue has been crazy ever since the construction of this building, and that contractor cut through our main, or spliced the main area of our property where electric all goes out to improperly, and it has been crazy. And so then we had to hire a different electrician to fix that, and there's still some issues. So yeah, so a lot going on, and I'm just so thankful for the staff and everybody that is working so hard and working, you know, extra time late because we have the sun to get everything done. And you know, and part of it is not only do we want to do it for the cats, but we want to do it for all of you. You guys have funded these projects, you've committed to them, and we want to make sure that they come to fruition. But sometimes the timeline has to move a little bit, but it will definitely get done. I know people are thanking volunteers online. I appreciate that. I appreciate people wanting to help. We have a volunteer that comes from the East Coast, and she flies in once a month on her miles to volunteer for the sanctuary. It's just one of many amazing stories of people and how they are contributing to help end the captive wildlife crisis, and specifically help us here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. And it is so meaningful to us, just really meaningful to us. Today we had a vet tech volunteer on site. We have a chores volunteer on site, and we have a mowing person on site today, and that's just on a Thursday. On Fridays and Saturdays we have crew days where you can bring 6 people to sign up and come work for the day and then get a thank you tour at the end of the day. We do have Fridays open throughout the summer, so if you know anybody, go to our website at wildcatsanctuary.org under how to help and volunteer, and it'll definitely kind of take you through what volunteer opportunities we have available. So definitely remember the auctions tomorrow, and then we have some quiet time hopefully over the summer from fundraising campaigns, because during the summer our job is to, what you funded earlier in the year is to make those projects come to fruition for the cats. So we'll be busy doing that. Again, thank you guys so much for all you do for us, and I can't wait to see you again next week on the weekly wrap-up here at the Wildcat Sanctuary.